after 8, 10 or 12 hours of work, then probably 1 or 2 hours of commuting, then after spending maybe 1 or 2 hours with family, we're trying to find the time or create the time to make our life better or better ourselves up. Create this small, habits, maybe do something for ourselves, or maybe just find the time, this 1 hour or maybe 2 hours stop a day, just to do something for ourselves, to enjoy, to reward ourselves for this long, hard day. But the problem is, there is no much time left. That's why I'm trying to find these small things that got the biggest ROI, the biggest return on investment for myself. I try to find these small things that I don't even have to think about. It's like with brushing your teeth, right? On the morning. You're doing that effortlessly. You just know you have to go and brush your teeth. And that is one of these small habits that give you massive return on investment. So I'm trying to accumulate as many of them because I have no time completely throughout the day. After I do everything what I have to do, there's literally no time left. So I'm trying to find the small bits that gonna make my life better without actually even thinking about them. And I read you the description of one of the habits that I implementing in the last probably 2 years. Because before I used to really ignore all the benefits I'm taking out of it. So the description of this small, simple habit is: scientists have discovered a revolutionary new treatment that makes you live longer. It enhances your memory and makes you more creative. It makes you look more attractive, it keeps you slim and lowers food craving. It protects you from cancer and dementia. It wards off cold and flu. It lowers your risk of heart attacks and stroke, not to mention diabetes. You will feel happier, less depressed, and less anxious. When I read this description, my first thought was, give me these tablets, whatever it is, I want to have it. And probably many people would pay a lot of money for this simple thing. If that would be a tablet, if that would be anything, they would pay a lot of money to have it. But you don't have to pay for it. I mean, you have to pay for it probably with time and attention. You have to pay attention to this small thing. And this little thing, obviously, as probably most of you already know, is sleep. It's so simple, but at the same time, it's so hard. It's so counterintuitive that sleep can give you so much benefits. And we tend to despise this fact because the problem is that after we do everything, we cover every responsibilities throughout the day, which is work, commuting, as I said, family time, paying bills, all that stuff. We don't actually have time for ourselves, to reward ourselves for this hard day. And I'm really bad at that. I used to be, because from the last, I would say year, maybe 2, after I read the book, Why Do We Sleep? I start investing more attention. I start paying more attention to sleep. And I'm trying to don't steal the time from my sleeping schedule. Because it is very tempting to stay this extra 2 hours, watch Netflix, or stay this extra 2 hours on our phone, just scrolling. It's nothing gonna happen if I'm gonna quickly scroll through Instagram and all that stuff. But actually it will. Because we're trying to don't look at the consequences of a sleep deprivation. Did you know that in the World Record Guinness Book, or however it's called, maybe it's upside down, my English, they banned the attempts to break the record of no sleeping hours. Because they find out it's too dangerous for the human to attempt to don't sleep as many hours as possible. And you know what kind of crazy shit it is in world record books? Some of them is just crazy, some of them are just stupid, but some of them are excited. Like, you know, the guy who was like jumping off the balloon or whatever it was from the atmosphere, breaking through the sky and, you know, landing on the earth, all that stuff. It's just crazy stuff in there. But they did ban attempts to breaking the world record in sleeping because it's too dangerous for the humans. So as we can see, there is consequences, and I'm gonna tell you about the consequences that I realized after I changed my sleeping habits and I kind of implement this habit of a good sleep in my life. I'm gonna give you the consequences and the benefits which I realized, and there is no statistic, no like stuff taken out from the internet. I'm gonna give you my own perspective on that, and I'm pretty sure you will agree on many of them. Okay, so when you have a good night of sleep, let's say throughout the week you work in Monday to Friday, as I do now, and then on Saturday, when you can wake up instead of 5 o'clock, you can be in bed till 6:30 or 7 o'clock. Just imagine what kind of mood you waking up and how you waking up. Because when I wake up at 5 o'clock to get ready to work, or 4:30, I'm a grumpy person, to don't say can't. I'm just waking up, dragging myself out of bed, you know, making coffee first thing, start thinking about work, and oh man. And I prefer when my wife do not wake up with me, although she very often do, because I'm just grumpy and I don't want to be grumpy to my wife. But it is just a mood when I'm waking up after 6 or 7 hours of sleep. This extra 2 hours on the weekend change completely my mood. I'm waking up happier. I don't think about the negatives. I'm just a very happy person, and I'm very kind to my family when I got this extra 2 hours of sleep. Then we've got outrage. Because have you ever realized how easy you are to trigger your outrage, your anger, when you don't sleep enough? When you are tired and something going wrong and someone tell you something that you don't like, at least for me, I'm blowing up so quick. There has to be like one thing someone say, and I'm just gone, man. I'm just blowing up. I'm just saying, don't talk to me, and I'm not myself, because I'm not like that. I am not this person. I'm not very explosive, and I'm not a bad person, I believe. But when I don't have enough sleep, it's so easy for me just to blow up and say something wrong that I will regret later. Also with concentration, when I'm going to work and I don't sleep enough, I just cannot concentrate on things. I'm slumping. My mood is somewhere else. Sometimes even you can see if someone don't sleep enough, he's like, you can say something to him and he answers a completely different topic. Like, you can literally see how how a sleep deprivation works on people and works on you. And I tell you the story. Like, I used to don't sleep enough. Okay, I was like investing this extra 2 or 3, 4 hours to, for example, playing games when I used to, you know, do this online activities, let's say. And I used to drive a car to work, picking up someone, you know. I was like swapping every week. We're swapping. 1 week I'm driving, he can sleep on the side. Another week I was sleeping on the passenger seat and he was driving. What I realized, when I did get enough sleep, on the first week when my friend used to drive, my friend was driving and I was as a passenger, I took my pillow with me because I'm like, it's 1.5 hour drive, I'm gonna have a lovely sleep. But I couldn't fall asleep. And second day, I was like, okay, today I'm gonna fall asleep. Because that was Monday, I was rested, and today I will fall asleep. I couldn't. On the way back home, I couldn't fall asleep as well. Although I put my pillow, I put some podcast in my ear and I try to sleep. I couldn't. Because the thing is, I slept enough hours over the night that I didn't need more sleep. I think this sentence did not make sense. Anyway. And you probably also have seen or have felt that when you don't sleep enough and you have to drive, man, that's so dangerous. You know how many accidents on the road are due to a micro sleeps? Micro sleeps are the sleeps when you don't even have to close your eyes, but you're just losing concentration and you're losing focus and you just don't think for a couple seconds, and couple seconds is enough to change your life. If you're gonna cause an accident, and I hope it's never happened, but we know it is happening in people's life. They just lose concentration for 1 second and they can even cause massive damage, let's say, on other people's life. It's not about you. Don't think about like, I don't sleep, I know I have to drive, I will be all right. Because it's not about you, it's about other people as well. You can destroy others people's life. So I think that's a massive consequence. And that after I slept once behind the wheel when I was driving, that changed my perspective on how many hours I need of sleep before I get behind the wheel. So it has been scientifically proved, all the benefits on our life, on our mood, on our body, on our brain. And we know all the consequences from our lives. We can feel, we can see them if we don't sleep enough, how we feel, how we act. We need to find a way to get more sleep, right? I know it's not easy because I'm the person who really trying to make this time for myself, because I love reading books, for example, and sometimes I sacrifice my sleep to read the book, or I sacrifice my sleep to watch some video or watch some movie. But we have to find the time for a sleep. If we can invest this 8 or 9 hours a day of sleep for sleep, our life completely changes. And I felt that on myself. And I know some people don't need as many hours, but it's really very low percentage of people that don't need to sleep 8 or 9 hours. So how to sleep more? We have to firstly distinguish the difference between being in bed and actually sleeping. And I realized that when I started wearing Whoop, that I was going to sleep normally around 8 o'clock when my boy was going to bed. And I was thinking, night before I went to bed at 8, so I wake up at 5, so I had so many hours of sleep, right? At least 8 hours. But it was further from the truth. Couldn't be further from the truth. I think that's the correct sentence to make it. It cannot be further from the truth. Because I was going to bed and I was scrolling through Instagram or different, platforms, or I was watching some video because, I want to reward myself after the long hours of work. And then when I wake up and I was wearing Whoop, I checked what time I fell asleep. And then I find out I fell asleep at 10, maybe 11 sometimes. Even though I went to bed at 8. So if you fell asleep at 11 and you have to wake up at 5, it's 6 hours of sleep. And this extra 2-3 hours make massive difference. And I can say that from my own perspective. Please listen to me. Now, jokes aside, I used to be this person who was thinking, I don't need that much sleep. I'm young. 5 hours is enough. People sleep 4 hours and they can, how you call it? Can run their life as good as people who sleep 8-9 hours. But it's very low percentage, as I said. So I heard that from Alex Hermosi. It's amazing. It's like so simple, but it's so amazing. Don't think about how many hours you want to sleep. Think about what time you want to go to sleep. And that's completely changed everything. That's changed my perspective. Because it's not about how hard you want to wake up at 5. Yes, I will do it. I will wake up. If you fell asleep at 3 a.m., how hard is gonna be to wake up? Probably you won't wake up at 5. That's pretty natural. Your body will fight with you to don't wake up after 2 hours. So it doesn't matter how hard we wanna wake up at 5 or 6. It's about make it so easy to wake up at 5. And what can create this environment to wake up easy at 5? Fell asleep earlier. Fell asleep earlier. And probably naturally you might wake up without the alarm. If you fell asleep 6 p.m., let's say, I promise you, I can guarantee that you're gonna wake up before 5 a.m. without the alarm. Because you're just gonna wake up. You just had 8 or 9 hours of sleep and you just naturally just wake up. And that's the massive hack for me. That the time I'm going to bed dictates what time I'm gonna wake up without a problem, let's say. And another one is stop stimulating yourself before going to sleep. What I mean by that, if I gonna go and let's say if someone gonna wrong you, if someone gonna make you so angry at 7:30 and you wanna fall asleep at 8, do you think that's possible when your adrenaline is up to the roof? If you just can't stop thinking about this person, what he've done or she've done to you, oh no, I'm gonna show him. In these circumstances, I probably will fall asleep after like 11, 12 o'clock. And I cannot change it because if I stimulate, I mean, obviously I didn't stimulate myself, but that's one of the examples. If someone make you so angry or you make yourself so angry, because you can make yourself so angry as well. If you, before fall asleep, you start watching some YouTube videos on the topic that really trigger your adrenaline, trigger your, mood, your anger, you can make yourself angry without any other people, and no one have to help you to get angry before sleep. Yeah. So, but another thing is, it's not about anger only. It's about, let's say, if you start watching your favorite movie before fall asleep, you will find it so hard to fall asleep. And I know that myself. If I start doing any activities that spike my adrenaline, spike my mood, changes anything in my brain, it's gonna be so hard to fall asleep. It is like that. You probably found yourself many times, and I did as well, when I was thinking I might just watch this one episode of my favorite movie. That was a Yellowstone lately. I was watching Yellowstone. And I was like, just one, so 9 o'clock I'm gonna finish and I can fall asleep. And I just, found myself 12 o'clock, midnight, and I'm still like thinking like, oh, maybe should I just switch it off? But it's so, tempting to put another series, another episode on it. Man, you cannot fall asleep if you trigger your dopamine, your brain, your adrenaline. You just can't fall asleep. And I know it is like that because I'm talking from my own experience. And even while I'm talking about that, you can see my emotion and all that stuff because I didn't realize for a long time in my life how sleep actually dictates what kind of person I am. And you cannot make up for sleep. I read in the book that you think that you might don't sleep in one night or have a 2-3 hours of sleep, but next day I'm gonna sleep for 12 hours. It's never happening. You cannot borrow from the day before. You cannot borrow time from the day before. It's just simply things like that doesn't exist. And I really wish people to understand that how much power sleep has. And it's probably a second or third video I'm recording about sleep, because I really wish to help people with that, because I know myself how much does that help me in my life. And hopefully I will just get better and better at that. And I'm not talking shit. Let's put it so straight. I'm not just talking shit. I really want to be better at sleep, because I know how much it changed my life. So, yeah, that was a nice talk with you lads and gals and guys. So, thank you very much for being with me on this morning coffee journey and this nice talk about sleep. So, I will see you very soon, and hopefully you will look at the sleep a bit different way from now on. I wish that. I wish you all the best. So I will see you very soon, and hopefully, and just stay safe, okay? Stay safe out there.